Welcome to Wild Wisdom. I'm Vince Hollywood Kelvin. I had a very interesting talk with a student yesterday. The student reminded me of me many years ago when I was a music student at the Musician Institute of Technology in Hollywood. I had top teachers, really amazing guy. This one guy was the father of Jeff Porcaro. I don't know how much you know about music. This is kind of music for musician. But Jeff Porcaro was the drummer of the band Toto. So I was a little nervous. I show up in class and he asked for a volunteer. So here we are, a bunch of students, me, a foreign student. I traveled so far to come to that music school from Europe to Hollywood, California. And my girlfriend's bringing me drinks. Thank you, my darling. You want to quickly say hello? Feature yourself, makeup or not. You see these over there. Okay, so the feminine energy will quickly rob you of your sharpness. You have to work on your sharpness as a man. When you're around women, you have to constantly go back to what helps you sharpen yourself. See, guys who get in a relationship and they stop working out and they stop following through with their discipline and studying game and so on, it is going to be very detrimental through time, because the surplus of feminine energy, which is very pleasant, it's very enticing, then erodes your ability to be in tune with your own masculinity, but it is your responsibility. So you need to do whatever helps you to sharpen, strengthen, and so on. But anyway, back to the music school. So here we are, dedicated students who say we really want to learn. I came the distance to be there. The tab was really high to be able to study with those top guys. Then, as it is often the case for our live streams, our Monday calls, and so on, the teacher says, I need a volunteer. Joe Porcaro, father of Jeff Porcaro from Toto, tells a class of about 20 guys, drummers, maybe one chick in the midst of it all, that he needs a volunteer. Everybody is shying away from an opportunity to learn. Then he randomly picks me. Now, if that happened to me today, I would have raised my hand. I would have been the first one. Yes, I do shave my armpits, in case you were wondering. I would have been the first one to raise my hand and volunteer. If I had not, I certainly would have been happy to just volunteer and play with it, learn, grow, make distinctions, even be willing to make a fool of myself, because there's not really any such thing. Only fools will be concerned in a way that a person could be making a fool of themselves. So I apologize. My first thing I was like, oh, me? Oh, okay, well, I'm not really prepared. And he interrupted me and he said, fairly loud, what the fuck do you think this is? I was over invested. I was making it what it was not. What it really was an opportunity to learn and grow with no expectation of being able to perform in any way, knowing that we were there to learn. We were there to make progress. So his message to me was, you are not operating from a frame of mind that makes sense. You're here to learn, so take any chance to learn. Yesterday I was speaking with a student, a guy who's top-notch, really, really starting to kill it, to really kick ass. And I was surprised because I had not heard from him for 7 days. And his answer was like, well, I didn't do much. I didn't really have anything to report. Hello? No. That is what is killing progress. Now, I emphasize with the third key point, I was in New York many years ago, and we filmed some of my interactions, and I got very excited. After a convention, I was speaking at a convention for pickup, and we're editing, and one guy who was known as a master PUA, teaching at the time, no longer teaching, is looking over my back, and he says, "Oh no, you shouldn't put that one interaction over there." And I says, "Why not?" He goes, "Because the girl walks away." He goes, "Hold it. So what you're saying, we should only put the best interactions to make the guys that are already in a frame of mind that's causing them to miss out because they don't understand. We're here to grow, to learn. Some will, some won't, so what? We're going to reinforce the wrong idea, like the fucking media and advertiser, that you should only feel good when you're up there, or we're going to say it like it is and get real and say, hey, you want to get super good at pickup? Some girls will, some girls are going to be in between, and some girls won't. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. That's how it works, and you work with that. And same thing with your success, with learning. Sometimes you're prepared, sometimes you're in between, sometimes you're not prepared, sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're almost on time, and sometimes you're behind. Sometimes it seems that the whole world is there for you, and sometimes it feels like everything's fucking falling apart. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're near sainthood, and sometimes you are going to wonder why the fuck you got so weird. So that's more real. And it took me a while to really understand that. But if you really want to grow, to learn, to thrive, you need to drop that kindergarten, high school, elementary school, haters type of attitude. And you need to, even for yourself, to learn how to love all parts of you. Okay? Here now I got my James Dean hat, I got my sunglasses, I got my cool backdrop, little statues, you know. But a moment ago, I was live on Facebook in a fucking bath with a hat, and it certainly wasn't the most flattering way to expose myself to the world. But the message is simple. Get real. Know that all parts of you have a function. Know that if you really want to make a lot of progress, you need to make less of a big deal, as I was in that example. In music school, you shouldn't hide when you don't know. You should show up even more. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. That's how we can learn. See, if we were able to somehow magically remove all the distress wrapped around, oh, I don't know. And a guy would be, I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. I haven't done much of what you guys are doing. I rarely walk down the street and then stop a bunch of girls and deal with whatever may happen. To be honest, that makes me a little shaky, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of how we learn. And then the guy takes a step and it doesn't really go very far and he still feels awkward and the girls don't seem to get it, but he's happy. So you got to liberate your approach to learning. So you'll make a lot of headways. And in the end, what the fuck does it really matter? So that's my first key point today. I hope that with my examples of the music school, the guy when we're teaching pickup in New York and creating a video of me in field, and the student that I talked about will inspire you to make sure that you don't fall in that common trap of being a blend of I apologize, I hide at home, I feel bad because I didn't do it, I'm embarrassed, all those low energy, being embarrassed, feeling, know when you're at fault, but even then, just shake it off faster. That's to expedite your progress. So the real man's way to make headways is you have three options at any given time. You are in distress, but you don't pretend you are not. You find a safe way to begin to seek the necessary help and you don't lie about it, you are in distress and you admit it. So it will be possible, you know, that in my group, for example, Aphrodite Sprints, for any of the members of Aphrodite Sprints that will watch this or see it now, I don't know where the fuck you guys are at. It's the holiday. Vacations only count, and really you're looking forward to the vacation when you are not practicing your vocation. When you fully engage in your vocation, you go, oh shit, a vacation. Nah, the world's gonna, I was supposed to go to the bank tomorrow. I was gonna do this, I was gonna do that. Where's everybody? Oh man, we were celebrating. How are you celebrating? Are you arguing with your family and stuffing yourself 10 times more than you should be? But anyway, so me, I like the beauty of it. Tomorrow I'm gonna do another free streaming, gratitude marathon. So heads up, tomorrow another free streaming. You probably won't follow it for the extended time, 2-3 hours of just gratitude. Okay, a meditation on gratitude, and we'll give you the free recording afterwards. I see more are joining us. I thought I was the last one on this planet. So if you're just joining, I made a solid key point to liberate yourself in your learning. Position number one is you are in distress, but you are not stressed that you are in distress. You know, it's not such an uncommon position. Your mission is to get out of it as soon as you can. And you are also more and more aware that you're not the only one, you know. We need to get more real to avoid just putting on the facade and being in distress within. The second one is you didn't do much and you can do more. And by voicing it, by coming to class that way, okay, second way, then we can make headways. And the third one is you're doing very well, but watch the pitfall of seeking approval because you are doing well. When you do well, that's a wonderful time to do even better, okay? So show up to your learning. Any guy that tells me show up to your learning that way. See, the biggest mistake a guy could make would be to say, well, I didn't do much this week if they're doing private sessions with me. Maybe we don't need a session. No, you need a session when you're in distress. You need a session when you didn't do much, and you need a session when you did well. That's at least my way. I've learned that from the greats of the self-help field and spiritual field. That's a better system than if it's really, really bad, I'm finally going to try to do something about it. The moment it gets better, I'm going to give up. If not much happen, I'm not going to do anything. And I hope to do good. No, you're not going to do good that way. Okay? Just a moment. We're going to turn this into a Q&A. I look forward to take some questions. For now, well, Vince, it's all good what you just shared. I hear plenty good information. You know, there's not a penury, which is a shortage of good information in this day and age. You want to go for the very best. You know, a lot of it is fucking distilled or so generic or overly generalized. Every time I see a book on body language, I know, like, okay, that is so surface stuff. You know, if a person's arm are folded, that means that they're closed. Could it also maybe mean that they're fucking cold, right? Okay, or that they're more comfortable that way? Or in my case, that they are matching you. I went to a hypnosis show in Vegas, and there were two chicks on stage, and I start to match them. I sit the same way that they're sitting, and the hypnotist didn't even know that he had in me probably the best fucking candidate he ever had, because I'm already very playful. If you put me under a state of hypnosis and you tell me, dance like you are Paris Hilton, you're a Chippendale dancer, I will do it. I'm one of the best hypnotic subject ever. My mentor, Marshall Silver, used to feel and look reassured when he saw, oh, Vince is on my stage tonight. That's going to be a good motherfucking show. Okay? So I'm getting lost in my train of thought. But yeah, how do you put it into application? How do you? Because we're approaching 2019, okay? We're going to have, again, that season of people hoping that next year will be different, hoping that next year will be better. We've all been there. Has this year been much different and way better than last year? Can you show it on paper that everything has increased the way you were hoping it would? Wow. For most, I would say probably not. If it did for you, if you made significant fucking progress, and you wrote goals at the beginning of this year, and you can say, Vince, not for me, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark, and you've been very consistent, and it's 360. Contact me. I want to ask you a few questions. If you're local, I'll treat you with lunch, but it's got to be vegan. Simple, because success comes before stuffing ourselves. Now, so the secret is we're lacking too often the awareness that helps us make the connection. That is not an easy task. That's one of the missing pieces. First, it's easy to see shortcomings in other people. The eyes look on the outside, and it's easier to witness where others may be off. So what's the solution? Never say anything. Don't pay attention to that. I would say the superior solution, instead of wrestling between those two, would be, again, a pyramid. And go to the top, and whatever you observe in others, you check in with yourself to see if to some degree you're doing the same thing, what you can do on your side. And then you need also the ability to be willing, unless you're totally happy. If you're totally happy with the way it's at, where you're at, you got no problem with that, you are free to just stick with that. But I got news for you. There's something known as inflation. It's not only for money and economy. No, inflation is present everywhere. If you expect that your life will remain the same if you continue to do the same, you're off. Your life will get worse off. The same won't remain the same. $5 today won't be $5 tomorrow. Okay? So there is erosion in nature. There is inflation in finances. If you are smart, you know that you can't hope for more doing the same. That one is basic. But you can't hope for the same doing the same. No, it's going to get to you. Anyone who's tackling that pickup seduction thing and not really diving in and not truly producing results, what's going to happen for you in the future, you'll realize that you could have and you didn't. That's going to make you as bitter as fucking can be. So now, on top of being lonely and horny, you will be bitter. And bitter is going to lead to blame. And you're going to blame yourself, which won't make you feel much better. You're going to blame the game, which will shut that door. You're going to blame others, which will no longer give you access to what could have saved your ass at the first motherfucking place. So it's time to wake up in your own ways for your own reasons. We can all use a wake-up call. We're all so good, talented, and yet we easily go dormant. And then we're a little bit in denial, and we suffer and struggle in silence inside. We are survivors, so we do our best to not show it to the world too much, you know, and we keep on showing up, and there's moments of hope, and there's moments of distress, and we try to bring it back, and we never fully give up, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But we never so fully thrive, okay? Otherwise you will send a PayPal and say, thank you, Vince Kelvin, or you would invite me to a fucking mansion somewhere, or a spiritual gathering where I would be like, wow, that was so powerful. How do you do this? Teach me. Or something, or your concert. One guy made me a promise he's going to pull me on stage. So I look forward to that. But first, he's got to be on stage. So he's got to keep the promise to himself to be on stage. So the secret is to check in. But the checking in by itself is not enough. We need higher awareness, deeper awareness, greater references. As Tony Robbins says, a higher standard. And it's something that's outside of us. So we need to be very interested in what will help us further. So I have created for you, and it's the first time that I share it, a very thorough system. I will even type it for you guys, okay? Thorough system to check in. We're gonna do a little process of elimination. Elimination. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I am, and what I'm about to share, that's money right there. That's money. You know, we should conduct some interesting experiments. We should take the same knowledge that's being shared and present it to different groups in different ways. We should kind of share it for free with a friend who's in distress. We should go, hey, maybe you could do this, to see the response. Then we should share it for free through a streaming like we are. Then we should share it for a minimal fee to a group where it's fairly convenient. Yeah, let's gather, it's 4 or 5 hours. And then we should really present it as something super, super, super exclusive and get a bunch of top achievers to pay major fucking money. And then we should make it very hard. You know, it should be, they have to relocate. It's like some private island somewhere, and they have to book their hotel, and then have them go through all those hoops and loops, and then share the same thing. And notice the feedback we get. That would be very interesting. We don't need to conduct that survey. We just need to realize tonight, I'm happily sharing this. This I don't take credit for. This is the result of all the times that I'm in distress. And yes, I do pray. You do whatever you want, but I do my best to tap into something that will help me. So it's of a higher nature. Okay, even if by higher nature we mean it was inspired by some of the greats 5,000 years ago, or 50 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 5 days ago when I gathered with my spiritual brother Raj Deparma, the fucking Dibazar. Okay, I got a speaker for my phone in the other room, and that's, I don't know if you guys can hear it. So first we got to watch out, because for a check-in to be valuable, the first thing we need to cut off is what I was telling you about, is that sense of excluding yourself if you feel overly behind or in distress or miserable, like it's really bad. No, that is not understanding the true nature of the human experience. That is a time when there's no problem. We need to encourage ourselves and each other to still show up no matter what. Okay, watch where and when you do it, but amongst us, we need to know that the more we are open, the more we are real with it, the further we can take this. So if you want to check in with yourself every day, or do a video check-in in my group Aphrodite Spreads, guaranteed some days you'll feel like, oh, I'm not presentable, oh, I didn't do shit, oh, I just got pissed. I got pissed this afternoon. I got really, 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 really pissed. Most days I experience enlightenment and the pits of hell. Is it the way it is? I don't know, but I didn't use that as an excuse not to be here and share valuable information. And I think that it's a little wiser and closer to truth than those people who only show up when everything is in place and feel embarrassed when it's not, because they're unaware that it's the case for all of us. So what do? We stay in hiding and pretend. The second thing you need to watch out for the check-in, the upper aspect of that is if we hide when we feel bad about ourselves, then that means we probably will show off a little bit when we feel good about ourselves. Now, not one will promise more options and create limitations. Nothing wrong with showing off. I'm a master fucking show off. I wear sunglasses at night. I even wear sunglasses in my bath. Okay? But it's where everything is where it's coming from. If it's coming from, oh, I feel so good today. I love to wear sunglasses at night. It's pure self-expression. It's me doing it for me. It's having fun. Why would that be so special? Oh, no. You got to be more humble. But if I do it hoping because I feel bad about myself and I hope that I can feel better if somebody tells me, oh, wow, that's great, you know, then that's not the fucking point. And if we're all honest, we all still so depend on the approval of others, okay? We know we don't depend on the approval of others the day something wonderful happens to you and you decide to practice pure silence. Once, as an exercise, it's so hard. You want to share with the world, you know, like that joke of the guy who got laid on after a boat sank. He's on a private island and there's this beautiful woman, let's say Selma Hayek or whatever, whomever turns you on. And he asked her one day to go around the island. No, he fucks her finally. But there's no one to know that he fucked her. So he said, can you put on a mustache with the eyeliner? She saved her eyeliner. She had a little makeup box. And kind of put on my clothes and walk around the island. And she goes, that's getting fucking weird, okay? He's thinking, why? She's thinking, is he gay? Does he want me to act like a man? And finally, she runs into him again. And he goes, my God, dude, I got to tell you, you won't believe who I fucked last night, okay? I didn't tell the joke so well. Let's get back to the teaching, to the learning. So avoid not checking in with yourself or with the people you said you would check in because you feel you're behind, because you feel you were off, because you feel miserable. Those are the best times to check in. Form that habit. I would recommend it. Me, I have the habit that I call a couple key people in my life, not to complain, not to hope that they come to the rescue, but just for me as a way, just in case it gets so bad, I'm gonna reach out. So it's a wonderful habit. On the other hand, do it for you. Don't do it to show off, to fucking brag. You know, most people dislike that anyway. I've done that the hard way, you know. A few people say they want you successful, but when you become super successful, watch how they didn't really mean it. Now you become a fucking threat to them, you know. I've seen it. Everybody was like, I was in my second marriage. Everybody was like, oh, but you're, why didn't you kiss that girl? Well, because I was married and my second wife was holding the camera. So after that, I said, well, fuck it, let me kiss girls. And I kissed and put pictures. And after that, there were less and less likes. It was like, oh, my success is too high for you. It's too big. It's making you feel too small. So anyway, now let's dive in. How do we properly check in? The next pitfall, the last one, would be making it too mundane. Hi, everybody, I'm checking in. Whom do you check in with? For. You check in for yourself. What's the real goal of checking in? Measure. To measure if genuinely you're going in the wrong direction, you're staling, or you're going in a better direction. Now, this is priceless. Okay? I could wrap it up nicely into a well-packaged and promoted little course, and people would go for it. But I'm happy to share that tonight. So are you ready? Are you ready? So if one option is to use numbers to measure, the problem is that how do you increase your numbers? See, if one guy keeps on going like, I'm going to get 5 fun numbers today. And at the end of the day, did you get 5 fun numbers? No. So then numbers come short, and numbers, which ultimately you got to be able to show the fucking numbers. Okay, it's a numbers game. But it could also pressure you too much, stress you out too much. So here are some ideas. We're going to type them, okay? I'm going to put my light down and look at my notes. So the first one, this is your daily checking. If you are, oh, here I am clicking on the wrong thing. Select a photo. No. Here I am covering my lovely face. All right, so in no specific order. Are you in that day in excuses or resolution? Excuses or resolution? You can add a few words under excuses. You could say bitching, problem, fearing, struggling, There is nothing wrong with being at a place of distress. It's common, and if you live one entire day and you do not encounter a moment of distress, I feel distressed for you. So do not fear it. But there, when you check in, look back at your day. How much time, maybe with some very small stuff, but the small stuff is important because the small stuff is something that's easy to correct. See, me, I always love to correct the small stuff, the stuff that you're not overly emotionally invested in. That's why you number close a girl you don't give a shit about. At least you're going through the motion. When I wanted to drill myself to be more resourceful, I would simply do it with picking up simple little things. It was not so hard. Okay, pick up your shoes, put them over there. Not the end of the world. And the small difference in the distance will make the biggest difference. So if you say, no, today, Vince, I wasn't bothered. I was not in distress. I don't think I gave any excuse. Well, maybe you parked and you realize after you parked that you couldn't park there. And for a brief moment, you went, oh, fuck, man. Can't even park there. In that moment, how much time did you spend in the problem? How rapidly did you go, well, let me then find where I can park. So if each day you look back, whether it's, you should have areas you pick up. You should also have the area of what have you done for your well-being, your work, what have you done for your work to make some increase or your career, yeah? So you can have your own areas and your spirituality. And then the check-in, honest check-in, not to impress anyone or not to gain pity from anyone. You rapidly go, okay, well, I spent a little much time today in excuse, and now I must make a resolution. And it makes you aware of the importance of shifting rapidly from fear to resolution. Anything that bothers you, don't stay in it. Resolve that you are going to change this now. And the goal would be to go right into resolution. Resolution. Resolve to resolve. Here's that next one. Denial. Oh, okay. Versus discovery. Denial versus discovery. Very interesting one. We are not going to grow. Again, the purpose of the check-in is not, you're not a fucking employee who has to check in so we know you were there. If you work somewhere and they ask for that, understandable. If you're the boss and you ask for that, understandable. But you got to know that if you come to classes to better all aspects of your life, if you want life by design, if you are part of those who want more, who will not settle, then the goal is to work the distinction so you can witness a difference in your life. It's not about consistently coming back to bitch or wrestle with the same problem. So this will propel your progress. This will elevate you very rapidly. So here's one of the secrets. Leave it to those who are fine being the way they are forever, which is not going to be forever, to focus on, no, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. The real champion is only interested in what is it that they could do, that they couldn't do better. Any guy who starts his statement with, well, I don't have a problem with opening. Fuck you. You have a problem with making progress. No, you're in denial. Instead, go for discovery. Discover ways, no matter how good you are, to make it better. So where were you? You got to check in on a daily basis. Am I stuck with, I'm pretty good with that, I'm doing all right, I'm not doing bad? Or are you more interested in discovering better, more efficient, more enjoyable, faster, greater way? I don't have a problem number closing. I don't have a problem talking to girls. Or see my, well, I'm a hard worker, but no, you're in fucking denial. You have to open your mind. Be a true discoverer. Be only interested in what else is available. See, me, thank God I don't have too much of that attitude, but to prove that I'm not in denial, not that I have to prove it, I am even contemplating that to some degree I still have that attitude. But I would have ended this pick of thing for me, this journey, a long time ago. If you watch my 1995 Paris pool video, I talk about the girlfriend that I had at home, even though I'm in Paris, and she was an adult film star. Known one, okay? So I could have said, hey, I did it. I did it. No, more. Higher ways and better ways, okay? You probably will have questions because those are just names that I use. So we need to dig deeper as a group in just a moment, brothers, if you're okay, ladies, if there's anybody, woman. So here's the next one. Pride versus press forward. See, when you're hot, you're hot. The best time to fix the roof is when the sun is shining. So the guy could be, hey, yesterday I got laid, guys. That's pretty fucking awesome. I'm using the example of seduction and pickup, but you know, you got to top yourself. A guy could be, oh, I got the part. I mean, I'm in a new movie. Whatever it is, you need to know that pride is your enemy. Be more interested in pressing forward. See, ultimately, we, without knowing it, follow models of progress that are very, very limiting. Most will only do something about improving when it gets really bad. The moment it's okay, they slow down, they don't do much. And the third mistake is when it's good. When it's good, go, okay, it's a good start. It's a good start. Doesn't mean don't give yourself credit. There's also all the examples I'm giving you. They could be the opposite challenge, the polarity. Somebody could always be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And they don't spend enough time really paying attention to what could be a potential problem. Okay? A person could constantly want to discover a better way and not feel appreciative of how far they have come. A person could not give themselves the credit and be like a frenzy, I need more. So I want you to understand that. The next one is expansion, retraction. That one is my favorite. That one is so easy. If you are, I think I misspelled expansion, unless it's spelled check right away. Check this out. If you are more and more open and capable to notice the subtle difference in direction, suddenly you're slightly more open, you have a sense of possibility, subtle excitement, you're following through, something is in motion, it's happening, and then something happens and you start to shut down. But it's not necessarily like total shutdown. It's more subtle and gradual. So throughout the day, it's a little bit like this. And you got to detect that motion, okay? And you got to shift it and go back towards expanding. When we retract, it's because we're concerned that there is something that we won't be able to handle. So we must remember ASAP that no matter what, there's a way, you can make a way, you can find a way. So I will share the list, the complete list with my guys in Aphrodite Sprints, which if you're not a member of Aphrodite Sprints, you absolutely must be one ASAP. If you are, this is what you check in every day. And I'm happy to share with you guys, okay, what does that sound like to check in like that? What does that look like? And you won't be able to check every minute of your day and report on it. but you take the one thing that peaked, that stood up the most. Okay. And the final one is story. That one, you could transform your life with that one. Story or step. Are you telling a story? Because a story won't change anything. Yeah, be a good storyteller. You have to be good, you know, in the world, whether it's for entertainment, seduction, social, a pleasant moment with other people, or becoming a leader in your own ways, or making headways with your profession, your career, making a sale, finding your way out of a tricky situation. Then you must be an amazing storyteller. But where it's the most deadly is when you tell yourself and others a story. Well, I didn't do it because, well, no. The real alpha way is you only exist in choice. And you have the option of the following choices. I fucked up. I'm going to correct this. I'm going to make it better now. Of course, it would be the lower aspect, but you'll deal with consequences. You'll be, I fucked up and I don't give a shit. The second way is it's not the way I want it, but I'm going to drop it, and I'm just going to accept this. I'm going to live with this. I'm going to be okay with this right now. Okay? And you got to make sure you don't bullshit yourself. And the third one is I don't like it, or there's something I don't have that I want. I'm going to change it right now. That's ultimate alpha, core of core way. But then stop telling yourself a story. The guy goes like, yeah, you know, when I grew up. No, that's a fucking story. That was then. Now is now. You don't like it? You did something wrong? One of the three options. And then you decide, what step can I take right now? And you take that step and you come back to that. So you check in with yourself on a daily basis. That was a priceless lesson today. Those will be up on YouTube and so on. You got to watch them. And I'm opening the floor for a few questions right now. We still have a couple listeners. I'm pressing the wrong thing again. Here, chat. If Christian Delgado, you're here, you're live with us, and you want to open the mics, I'm cool with that. Charlie, I couldn't believe what you sent me in Messenger today. That was rather naughty of you. Okay? So you can also type your questions. Clarification, if you want to chat a little bit about that. Hey from Paradise, Mexico. Yesterday, I hung out with a 22-year-old over dinner. She loved my display of leadership skills, so I did more of the same. Went on a roll. What are some great transitions to the other archetypes of seduction? It's a little bit of a confusing question, you know. Let's talk about me. If I found myself asking this question, first I would feel good that for three reasons, okay? Three reasons to feel good. You're making something happen. You showed up tonight and you're sharing with the group. That is fucking amazing. I'm not going to say Richard, I'm going to say Vince, because I'm not here to tell you, but I'm going to say what I would say to me, okay? At the same time, I would further read the question. I would be very genuine with myself. I think you know a little bit more. And I think that you also must give yourself more permission. And when you're on a roll, are you really on a roll? I would want to see, it depends how much you want to grow. It depends what you're in it for. Everybody's free to be in it. Some of us who come to this because we can feel a bit more social. Some of us who come to this because we find it entertaining. But I'm obligated to go beyond entertaining you and making you feel like we're being social. What is very, very important is if you really want to change, then let's make the change happen. And for the kind of change that you want to happen, you need to have the willingness to look a little deeper within, even if it's not very pleasant at first, okay? Because that appears to be still very, very conservative. If you are, how do you know she loved your display of leadership skills? For me, I would measure, is she back? And is she giving you, I mean, did you just want to go to dinner? Was that the goal? And that's great. I don't want to say too much. I'm waiting for another question. Is there any other question? You do not have to have questions, but I know I shared a lot of information and I'd be happy to clarify. If I didn't realize it, and some of the drugs that I did in the past were a little too strong and everybody around me is just being nice, but it caused some severe brain damage and it's impossible to understand what I'm saying. Please, somebody fucking tell me. Or on the other hand, if I've reached levels of enlightenment and wisdom that you fear a little bit because you're thinking, oh shit, motherfucking Vince Kelvin robbing me of the remaining options of excuses that I had. I dare you. Now I can either pretend that I'm stupid and that I didn't get it, or I have to face the fact that I know better than tossing excuses and being in denial or trying to show off when in fact there's so much better and more that I can do. Wow, you're making it almost like an obligation to grow fast. Oh, I wish I didn't hear this. Then tell me, please. And but there, the problem is that I'm never gonna make it milder than this. Me, I genuinely aim for no less than total enlightenment. By total enlightenment, here's what I mean. First, I want to clear the confusion that may be around any false sense of enlightenment. I want to know, okay, if one human being, as they go through this journey on this planet, they come and they knock and they say, all right, I'm a little bit, you know, I used to play hockey. I was nervous when I played. I was good, but I never really became like the absolute best player. And but I am competitive to some degree. I've enjoyed betting more girls, betting more girls than most guys. But now here's what I'm interested in. Hello, universe, whoever you are. If one human was to decide that they are fed up measuring based on models of the world, that they will function in them, be in the world, but don't be of the world. I think it's the Course in Miracles who said that. They said that Jesus had said that. Then, and I'm fed up like fighting, you know, at a level, I'm still gonna do good and so on, but with the stuff that's a little superficial, you know, okay, look at this, I did this, hey, I did that, wow. Isn't that the guy that did this? Yeah. No, I'm not gonna take all of that beyond and after. So if a person was really committed to say, okay, how does one go through life in the most enriching, beneficial manner that would really be like, wow, amazing. Can I go back? No. You're amongst us right now. We're going to take you to an even greater place. So I'm curious. And I'm sending the message today in the universe. If any one of you knows the answer, tell me. Okay, I have a private client that's going to be waiting downstairs. Thank you, everyone, for joining at a time when most people would find a reason not to. Holidays can be beautiful. Be certain that you don't forget about your body and that you don't let your family get to you, okay? The thing with family is this. Always remember, you are you and you will have to live with your part in it. Some of the family members are not going to be there forever. So I've helped quite a few people who were still like kind of hanged up with family shit that happened years ago. So keep that in mind. If you're with your family and they get a little weird on you, just say, hey, give me just a second. I have a phone call to make. And then as you're outside, you go, okay, a year has gone by. This situation is not getting better with them, or even a week or a day. I'm gone. I'm going home. Then how do I want to look back on it on my side, not them? I know they're crazy. I always know that. Okay, or you know, they're nice, but some of them or so on. So watch what you invest into for you. Okay, if you spend time with your family, watch what you put into your body. Is it really a celebration to shove more food than your body can process and take? Okay, uh, if you need to recharge, do something that by Monday you'll be like, you know what, I feel so fucking recharged. Yeah, so a real recharge if you really need time to recharge. If you need to catch up and if you're interested in the true model of success, okay, right now is a good time to go kind of counter motion of the other part of the world. If you're a bit, you know, competitive and you want to have an edge and you want everybody to go, wow, fucking look at you, man, you bet. Well, it's because when you guys stopped working out, I continued to work out. Wow, look at you, man, you girls. It's because when you guys said, oh, I'm not going to do any pickup on my family, I continued. I found a way. Wow, look at you. You know a lot of stuff. That was brilliant what you told me. My life is a little bit better already. Thank you. Where did you learn all that stuff? Oh my God, it's so brilliant. He's the new Messiah. No, because when you were watching crap on TV, I was making my research. Okay? So last I want to say, this is for the pure purpose of entertainment. If you're offended in any way, it's because you have to work on not being offended. And at least you have learned tonight that you're too easily offendable. So I'm happy that I was able to contribute to your growth in this manner. And who am I? I'm the wounded healer. You know, the pain and so on. I didn't want to stay with it. I don't like it when it comes back. So I'm finding superior ways and I like to share them in my very own unique, peculiar ways that I hope have been at least to some degree beneficial to you, but that is entirely dependent on you. What you do with this. If I didn't know myself and I had just heard what I have just heard, I would come up with so many ideas by now because these higher levels of consciousness trigger higher levels of consciousness. Blessings. Thank you, Chris Delgado.